Guys, today Camilla and I are sitting in a hide in Lamford Lakes, my favourite local nature reserve, and the reason we're sitting in this hide today is because it's absolutely tipping it down with rain. And you may find yourself, particularly if you live in England, that the weather is against you, so you can sit indoors, watch the TV, catch up on your latest vlog, watch your computer, edit, this, that and the other. But you can be missing a trick in nature photography, and this is because it can be very good to get out and get some unusual shots. After all, not everybody is sitting in a hide in the middle of the rain, and yep, I seem to be the only one in here. And if you've noticed, your best shots are usually obtained when nobody else is around. There are advantages to sitting here in the rain apart from being on your own. And one of the things that photographically you get in the rain is shots which are saturated, and saturation in these circumstances also means saturated colours, not just saturated by the rain, but that is in effect what saturation is. So we get some very vivid colours. So another advantage of shooting on a day like today is that you don't get any blown out highlights. With that enormous dampener in the sky, that softbox, well, grey softbox, you definitely don't have to worry about highlights. So one less thing to worry about. What are the rules for, or the guidelines for photographing in the rain? Well, number one guideline, I suppose, is don't photograph in the rain. One thing modern camera equipment doesn't like, being totally electronic, is getting wet. And even with the best waterproofing going, the A92 is supposedly waterproof to a degree, it's water resistant, it still is best not to get your camera gear completely soaked. So avoid getting wet in the first place. You can use a whole rain cover. Ooh, look, here's one I made earlier, and yeah, that's great if you're out in the open, but you're still going to get awfully wet. So the secret is, don't really get wet, it's not worth it. Park yourself in a hide, there's plenty of them around, or bring your own hide, as long as it's waterproof and it's got a sheet on it. But yeah, still you probably get wet. And bring a ground sheet. Another rule for wet weather is obviously you're trying to use a lower ISO as possible, so you are going to get movement in camera. So really you want to be on a tripod, and you want to come down to something like 1/30th of a second, 1/60th of a second, and just hope your subject freezes for the instant you take the photo. Otherwise your ISO levels are through the roof, which can be, you can still remove it with modern denoise technology, but it's still best to get it right in camera if you can. So a definite point to watch is appalling ISO levels, and obviously if you have still got some action happening, you've still got to photograph at a high enough shutter speed, at least 500th of a second, 1000th of a second, and I'd still recommend taking the shot at these shutter speeds on auto ISO, and then worry about the problem when you get home, because you can do something about ISO, but you can't do something about blurred image. So if you get some amazing action or something, capture the amazing action and worry about the ISO level later. So if I had a choice, would I come out in the rain as a photographer? No, not really, not seriously. It's still a great escape, and it certainly forces you to slow down, but I would not recommend it with modern camera equipment. It's alright if you Jacques Cousteau and you're doing underwater filming, but on the whole I stick to reasonably variable days that I find best. Overcast, sunshine, showers, brilliant. That's the sort of weather, and on the whole we do get an awful lot of that in the UK, so we are very lucky. Sometimes we get weather set in though like this, and it can be set in for weeks, so it could get quite depressing if we didn't get out at all. So it's great to be able to get out. That's the secret. So just enable yourself to get out, get the equipment set up so you can shoot in really awful weather. And of course, weather can change in an instant, so you've got to be prepared for all environments, and this is very good exercise. So this is the setup on Camilla and I today. So we're in far from perfect conditions, and what we've done is just set us up in the hide. It's a sort of woodland area with these feeders, and it just gives us a bit of interest to photograph. If we were sitting here the whole time and there was no action at all, it would get quite boring. So it's nice to have some activity. Yes, as the rain tips down, it's just lovely to be able to contemplate aspects of life, planning your next trip out. Camilla and I, we've got a couple of trips to look forward to. Hopefully we're going to Wales, and we're near the red kite feeding station. I haven't organised this trip myself, so I might have to grab a few snippets of wildlife photography, and I can see myself paying for a hide where they feed the red kites, so I can see that one coming up. And then looking forward to January this year. We're going back to Norfolk, where we had a very lovely time last year at RSPB Titchwell Marsh and also Snettisham, and going to stay in accommodation near to that area again, and this time I've got a full week, so hopefully get some good vlogs from Norfolk. Norfolk is probably one of the premier areas I'd suggest for wading birds and owls. Oh, it's got everything. I don't understand why I live down here. I should be living in Norfolk. Wonderful place, Norfolk. So anyway, hope to go to Norfolk. And then, not only that, in April, also planning to go to a place not too far from Salisbury, only about an hour and a quarter from my home, which is Middlebere Farm, a National Trust property near Arn, and indeed hope to get some good photography from there. That particular property, National Trust property, has its own National Trust hide which overlooks the Arn estate and estuary, and amazing what you can get that passes there. It's just incredible. Birds of prey, flocks of avocet, other large wading birds. Amazing, brilliant location, and hopefully we'll do some vlogging from there. So just a few things to look forward to on Camilla and I. Great. Yeah, so as with everything in life in general, it's largely what you make of a situation. I mean, yeah, you could only come out on sunny days, and indeed it's far more awkward coming out on these rainy days. We're often making the best of it here in the UK, and yeah, that's why you have to be prepared for the worst in this country. And indeed, even with my trips booked, you just cannot predict the weather at all. And obviously I have specific dates in my diary, and of course I am in total lap of the gods as to the weather, so you never know, and that's why it's well worth being prepared. So here we are, getting prepared. Make sure you've got the warm waterproof gear on, always helps. Another essential on a day like today is the old Morton Hilmer special drug. That's how he gets all his excellent shots and videos. Oh, and he takes the lid off the coffee thing before he pours it out. Good point. And yeah, anyway, cheers Morton, loving the vlogs. But ooh, I still worry for his health. Good health, Morton. I'll stick to a bit of rain. Good. Beautiful. So a quick recap, I suppose. Don't go out in the rain. No, don't get your camera gear wet. Definitely go out in the rain, but make sure your camera equipment's covered. It's just like dropping it in the lake. It's not a good idea. ISO wise, you're gonna suffer. Basically, the low light levels are going to affect the photography. So you want to use as low a shutter speed as you can get away with, but obviously you still got to retain the action if you get some action in the shots. So bear that in mind. Yeah, is it worth getting wet? Yeah, definitely worth getting wet. Make sure you got the right gear on. The advantages are you will get shots that you wouldn't otherwise get in the dry, and of course the wildlife still operates, so why don't you? So you have to bear that in mind. And you can't pick your weather, especially here in the UK, so make sure you're able to shoot in any conditions, and it doesn't get much worse than cold and wet. Well, there we are guys, that's a classic bit of luck that if you wait around long enough, it all comes to thee who waits. And don't know who said that, probably me. Anyway, yeah, no, it's just had a cormorant in, and it decided to go up on a post which it normally wouldn't bother going up on because there'd be too many people around in the hide, and it would be disturbed by the presence of people in the hide. But on this occasion it just posed quite nicely, so yeah, I was able to get a little bit of footage, linked to a little bit of footage, and hopefully got a couple of frames away, but haven't looked yet, so yeah, we'll have a look. So don't forget, as usual on Camilla and I, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that little bell notification. I'm still trying to grow the channel. Thanks to the 390 people so far who have subscribed to this channel. Absolutely amazing. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye from Camilla and I.